All right, let's jump right in. Today we're going to talk about something that pretty much challenges the most basic rule of being alive. See, for all of human history, aging has been a total certainty, just an inescapable fact of life. But what if that fact isn't a fact at all?
Seriously, just think about that for a second. What if getting older wasn't some biological guarantee, but just a problem that we could solve? I know it sounds like something straight out of a movie, but it's a real question that scientists, billionaires, and philosophers are pouring billions and billions of dollars into trying to answer right now.
For as long as we've existed, aging has felt like a one-way street. It's a process we've learned to manage, sure, but never, ever reverse. But that's changing. Right now, in labs all over the world, scientists are starting to wonder if they can actually build an exit ramp off that street.
And this one sentence, this captures the massive shift in how we're thinking about all this. We are literally moving from just accepting our biological clock to trying to hack it to completely reprogram it. The big question is no longer just how to age gracefully, but do we have to age at all?
So, what's behind this incredible revolution? This isn't just wishful thinking. This is a field that is absolutely exploding with money and fascinating research. So let's get into the actual science.
Okay, so the fight against aging is really happening on three main fronts. First, you've got the labs. Researchers there are focused on something they call the epigenetic clock. The idea is that our DNA gets kind of dirty or cluttered over time. So they're using these amazing cell reprogramming techniques to see if they can basically wipe the slate clean and reset a cell to a much younger state. Then, second, you have Silicon Valley. The billionaires there are treating aging like it's a software bug in our bodies. They're funding all these ambitious startups working on things like senolytics, which are basically drugs designed to clear out old, junky cells, because they think they can debug our biology. And third, you've got the geneticists. They're studying people who live to be over 100 in these blue zones, trying to reverse engineer their biological luck to figure out what allows them to live so long and so well.
No, if, and it's a big if, but if they pull this off, what does that world actually look like? Let's just for a minute imagine the best-case scenario, the utopian promise of a future where we've actually conquered aging.
The potential upside here is just staggering. It's not just about adding more years to your life, but adding more healthy, vibrant years. We're talking about extending your health span, not just your lifespan. Imagine having decades more to learn a new language, to create art, to just be with the people you love. Think about all the wisdom and experience humanity could collect. It could kick off an era of innovation and progress like we have never, ever seen before.
But, and this is a huge but, this exact same technology could spin up a world that's a lot less utopian and a lot more terrifying. Every single one of these breakthroughs casts a shadow, and we have to be willing to look at the other side of the coin.
And this lays it out perfectly, the two paths that could lie ahead. The very same science that promises longer, healthier lives could also create a level of mass inequality we can barely imagine. All that accumulated wisdom, it could be totally canceled out by the crushing strain of overpopulation. And that dream of endless innovation could get completely smashed by a total societal breakdown, as all of our systems and resources just buckle under the pressure.
This is probably the biggest and most difficult question right off the bat. Are these life-extending treatments going to be available for everybody, or will they become the ultimate luxury item, only for the super rich? We could easily be staring down a future with a new kind of biological class divide, where some people get to live to 150 and everyone else just gets left behind.
And that's the thing, right? This entire debate moves beyond the lab really, really fast. It forces all of us to face some of the deepest questions about who we are, about our society, and about what it even means to live a good life.
So let's make this personal for a second. Forget the global stuff. Just ask yourself, would you want an extra 30, maybe 40 years of healthy life? On the surface, it sounds pretty amazing, right? But then you have to ask,
At what cost? And I don't just mean money. What's the emotional cost? The social cost? Do you really want to outlive your kids, your grandkids, maybe even their kids? Would our whole society just stagnate if power and money never get passed on to the next generation? What would that life really feel like?
and as soon as you start asking those kinds of questions, you realize that the real challenge here, it isn't technical at all.
It's philosophy. We are right on the edge of having to decide what gives a human life purpose, what it's all for, and what we owe to the people who come after us.
Which brings us to the ultimate question, the one that's sitting right at the heart of this whole revolution. It's not just about can we do this anymore, it's about a much bigger, much more urgent question. Should we? And that's a question we all might have to answer a lot sooner than we think.